Yeah. Oh, can you fill me in? Let's talk about it.
Do you believe in ghosts and stuff?
Yeah,
Do you? Have you ever experienced anything?
yeah, twice.
Oh, yeah. Go on then.
Once in an old people's home, when we used to live in Warrington, they shut the old people's home and they were doing it out for work. And us as kids, obviously, we'd break in there and mess about doing wheelchair races down the hallway. And I thought that Luke was. It's like a big long hallway, and then the living room like goes off. And I thought Luke was sat on a chair because it looked like I could see the side of someone's face and their arm on the chair. So I was like, Luke, come on, stop messing about. We need to go. I think someone's coming. And then I told him twice. And then when I turned around, I said, come on, we'll go and get Luke. And then when I went to go and get him, there were no one there. They were gone.
Okay.
Really weird. And then at my mum's house, I think the owner who used to live in there, he died in there. And I never used to like staying there on my own. So loads of me and my friends come back. We put all our shoes downstairs and went straight upstairs. And then when we went downstairs to go and leave, no one was in the house. The living room door was open and all the three people's shoes were on the edge of the couch, all facing the door. And then I've stayed, and all of us freaked out. We like clambered out of there.
And that's not somebody winding you up?
Well, no, because the front door were locked. You can't get in. You can't get in from the outside. The back door were locked, and there was only four of us upstairs, and nobody went downstairs after that. And then I stayed there on my own, and it felt like the bed was vibrating. And then I'd move, and it'd stop, and then start again. And then I used to face the wall when I go to sleep, and it felt like somebody lifted the covers up and got in bed with me. So I ended up ringing my friend, panicking, and then went like that on the other side to make sure nothing was there. So I turned all the lights on, turned the hall light on and went to the toilet, and then went back to sleep with the door wide open. When I woke back up, I heard a big bang, and when I turned my phone light on, everything was just swinging on the back of the door. I was like, yeah, I'm not staying here tonight on my own.
And where, is this where you live now?
No, it was at my old house where my mum used to
okay.
live. Not in this current house.
Wow.
But I tried to be like, just go away. I'm not in the mood for it now. Please.
See, that to me says, come back another time. It's not like an indefinite no.
But no, we used to mess about with Ouija boards when we were kids.
Right.
I wouldn't dare do one now.
No, I watched, I think it was called The Grudge. Is that the film?
Yeah.
With the little Chinese kids? Yeah. So in my house, you've got my living room and then a corridor and then right into the kitchen, left and back on yourself up the stairs, or straight ahead's the toilet. So I've paused it and I'm going to the toilet, and as I've got to the stairs, the little grey Chinese kid was sat hugging his knees on my bottom step. So I've just looked again and then it was gone. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, yes.
But I know that was
sinks.
just it playing tricks on me. Because I can't remember who it was, but somebody said to me when I was young, never look back into a dark room as you're leaving, because your mind will see something that's not there. So if you're going out of a room, shut the door behind you and that's it.
Yeah.
If you turn around and pull the door towards you, you're likely to see something
to see
that's not
something.
there.
And if
That's
you
always
want to see
stuck with
something,
me.
you probably will see something.
You go to a haunted house and you go there and they do a tour and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, obviously I'm going to see something. My mind's playing overtime and I'm waiting to see something. So, yeah, I'm not convinced. We spoke about this before. I can't remember how long ago we had the conversation, but there's a guy that's meant to be coming on called Richard McCann, and his mum was the first victim of the Yorkshire Ripper.
Really?
Yeah, so he's had loads of things happen in his life where it's too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
So like positive things that have come from negative things, and like certain numbers that are reoccurring, and he's had all these things to the point where, so he's a motivational speaker now, he's a really sort of inspirational guy. And he did this whole show. I went for 2 hours. And there was about 30 people there, and it was just him talking about all these things that had happened. And I was just like, whoa, this is all weird. Because like I've said, when we was talking about that, I go to a grave and I'll talk as if that person can hear me.
Yeah.
Why do I do that if I'm not convinced that there's... Because when we think of
It's
when
the
we
same
think
as
of
dead
ghosts
relatives, you
and
sort of
spirits, and yeah, this is it.
You
If they
just start
can
speaking
hear
as if
me,
they're already there.
So if
They're
I
still
think
there.
that they can hear what I'm saying, then obviously there could be, if this building was haunted, then what's the difference between me speaking at a grave and there being some sort of presence
Yeah, here.
So
Ooh.
I know.
You'll have
But
to
yeah,
try it with candles.
It's a really old mill. What do you do? Do you ask them to come and speak to you or something? Or...
Yeah, when we used to do it with Ouija boards, I don't think I'd touch one now.
Shall we do one?
No.
We'll do one on camera and see what happens.
No, you've got to make sure everything's off and just a candle. But obviously, you only use the Ouija board if you actually want to communicate with them. But they say
But you don't get to choose who you communicate with.
No,
do you?
and you've got to always say bye.
Why?
Because then they sort of
No, that not to
yeah. People say that if you don't say bye, then they can sort of linger around you or be kind of stuck there.
follow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I've said I want to get a
Maybe you'll have to ask for a sign.
Not yet. Don't.
Yeah,
Maybe
not
that's
yet.
what's been turning his cameras off. Maybe that's all the problems we've been having with the technology.
Interference.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like,
Yeah.
beep. So anyway, we're not here to talk about ghosts.
No.
So I'm here with Jazz, who I met about 5 years ago.
Yeah. Probably
Maybe about 5 years ago. And we've been on social media since. And I just think it's brilliant, the stuff that you do. I look forward to seeing your videos when they come out. And I was telling you before we started this that I got a message off one of my friends who's very similar to you. She's dead positive, and you know, she's always like, everything's there's a silver lining. So however bad things are going, there's always sort of something to take from it.
Yeah, definitely.
And doing this podcast is brilliant. I love it because it gets you to learn more about people, but a lot of the topics have been quite tough to talk about.
Yeah.
So I know there's tough parts to your story.
Yeah, there's tough parts to every story.
Everybody's story, yeah. But I just think it's nice to sort of spread some positivity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody has everybody's struggle.
Yeah.
Everybody has a struggle. Everybody goes through challenges within their life that they need to get round, and it's just finding a way that works best with you to get around it. And like you said, turning a negative into a positive.
So do you think you're more of a positive person now after some of the bad stuff that's happened?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right, okay.
Without a doubt, 100%.
So you're not just back to how you used to be.
Yeah,
you're
no.
of...
You progress. I mean, everything that you experience in life will help you grow, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And people say, if you're too comfortable in your life, then you're not going to grow. So, and we do find it difficult, and we find it uncomfortable to do things that we're not comfortable with or do something different. But that's the only way that we'll grow as a person in life, and through experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Life is a beautiful struggle, as they say.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. For me, it's more as soon as I'm like, say for work. So I'll start a project, and when I first start a project, it's time consuming and it's tough, and there's lots of decisions to be made. And as soon as I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this quite comfortably now, what's next? Yeah. And then it's like, I'll take a little bit more on, and then once I get comfortable doing those two things, I'm like, right, what's next? And I'll take some more on. And it's really benefited me. I do use being busy as a defense mechanism too.
Yeah.
So relationship ended this year, 2.5 years, and what I did was I got busy.
Yeah, it's the best way to keep yourself busy. Keep your mind off.
Yeah,
occupied.
and then by the time you have time to sort of assess what's happened or to try, the emotions are less, so it's easier.
Yeah, because it takes a while for anything to sink in.
Yeah. So how did you become this positive
what I am
person?
today.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody has their struggles through life. I went to university, or went to college, university, graduated from university. I went home. My mum begged me to go home, which wasn't a good idea. I thought it would be to save some money and pass my driving test.
Where's home? Is that Warrington?
Yeah, Warrington, back home.
Oh, you're one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
Okay.
But long story short, I had a massive fallout with my mum. I ended up getting kicked out. Me and my ex-partner, we got kicked out. So it was just sort of like, oh my God, I've got nowhere to go. I didn't want to be where I was in Warrington because the bus links are not good. I didn't see any progression for me to stay there. So it was the first jump of saying, right, we're going to go back to Huddersfield and we're just going to forget this as a bad experience. So I went over back to Huddersfield. We came over to Huddersfield with nothing but a suitcase. That was it. We stayed with family friends for 6 months, and stayed with other friends for 6 months until it was like, right, we need to get like a little place of our own. So I got a little 1-bedroom flat. Me and my partner were doing well. Obviously, all happy endings come to a bad ending, as I like to say. The breakup was really bad. It was an abusive relationship, very manipulative. And as always, you feel like you could change the person, but really you can't. And I stayed too long. And when it ended, it was bad. So from then on, it was sort of like, right, I'm on my own now. It's about what I want and how to make me happy, rather than focusing on that one person and being like, right, how can I make him happy, or how can I make him change to be a better person? It just took all that focus away from me. Plus, I wasn't around my mum or any family. It was
He
sort
was
of
all you
like,
had.
he was all I had. So when he was gone, it was sort of like, right, I stayed in the flat only for another 2 months. I had a really bad water leak, like really bad. I woke up in the middle of the night, there was water gushing through the light sockets and the lights above. Cut a long story short, I ended up moving out of there. I moved in with some friends I was there for about 6-8 months. And then the friends, they were like brother and sister. That we were like brother and sister, such a close-knit relationship. Obviously splitting up with my ex-boyfriend, I needed something to focus on, and he was big in calisthenics anyway, so it was sort of like, right, well,
Tell us what that is.
so calisthenics is basically body
Did you
weight.
see how I was going to say it and then thought you're
Yeah.
definitely going to say that wrong? So just call it
Calisthenics.
it. Tell us what.
Yeah, so
that
calisthenics is basically it's body weight training. So it's press ups, pull ups, muscle ups, anything handstand press ups, just bar work usually. So obviously I was into that because my ex-partner was into it, and then obviously my best friends, they used to go to the gym, so I was at their house like every other night. We were going to the gym, and obviously when I had this water leak, it was sort of like, well, do you want to just move in with us because you're here anyway, so you may as well. So obviously I was absolutely smashing the gym, which completely took the focus off what had happened with my ex-boyfriend, just to be like, it's done dusted, it's never going to get back to how it was, so we need to move on and move forward. So that's when the gym just sort of like took off for me. It was more of an scapegoat that I could take my anger out on something else, and I could focus on something else. Like you said, keeping yourself busy is a good thing. And then again, long story short, I ended up renting the house off my 2 friends for a good year. Again, nice things always end badly. There was a misunderstanding, literally just over miscommunication between us. We had a big fallout, and I ended up moving out on bad terms. I moved out 2 days early. So again, I found myself homeless again, with nobody around me that I could. And it's funny, because when you get yourself in a situation where you think, shit, what am I going to do? You start ringing around all the people you know, asking people. Like, I had loads of furniture. I had to put my furniture somewhere. And then obviously I've got myself, and I've got a little Jack Russell, little dog. And I was thinking, oh my God, who's going to take me and the dog on? Like, so it's just sort of when you have to like reassess. And when I did get the phone out and ring everybody, I was so surprised who actually picked up. Like, the people who I thought were going to be there for me were nowhere to be seen. So I ended up putting all my furniture in one friend's house. She had a spare room, so I put all her furniture there, but she had cats, so I couldn't stay at hers, obviously, because with the dog. And then my best friend from Huddersfield, who I used to work with in the pub, we were best mates for years. We used to do karaoke on a Friday and Saturday night in the pub.
Oh, wow.
So barrel of laughs. She was like, pack your stuff and get round to mine now, I've got you. She didn't have a spare room. She didn't like pets. She had no pets. But she was happy for the dog to be there. I slept on an airbed behind her couch with the dog for 8 months just to save up that money to be like, right, I've got enough money now. I can move into a house of my own and then start being independent again. My partner at the time, I actually met him through the friends who I fell out with when I was renting the house. He's stayed by my side the whole time, been 110% supportive. I met him literally on the off chance. He was round at my friend's house, and I just walked downstairs, and he was just sat on the sofa. So it was just literally by chance that we met each other, and you know, them people that you just click with straight away. We just had so much fun. I always find it helps being friends first. So obviously from them, I found out about The Secret. I don't know if anybody knows about The Secret. And there's a Netflix documentary, which is The Secret. If anybody hasn't watched it, then you need to get it watched, because I would say without a doubt it has changed my life completely. Just to think that, like, I know everybody says, like, when you wake up in the morning and you feel a bit like shit and you're like, oh, I feel like shit, I'm tired, I really don't want to go to work, like, I'm not happy where I am. And as soon as you wake up and you're telling those things, you're already creating your bad mood before you've even got out of bed. Whereas The Secret and watching people's podcasts on how to have a magical morning, as I like to say, it just literally blew my mind. I mean, the fact of just doing affirmations, like, affirmations are just saying things about yourself in the morning, which basically put you in a good mood. That's all it is. So, for instance, on my way to work in the car, I will drive and I will say, I am happy, I am beautiful, I am motivated, I love my job, I'm so happy to have a supportive partner, I'm so blessed to have such a nice little dog. And then you just go off from there and list all the things that you're grateful for. And doing your gratitude just gives you that self-belief of what you actually have, rather than focusing on what you don't have. Like, if you don't have the latest phones, or if you don't have enough money to buy what you want, it's just gives you that refocus on focusing what you have got. You've got a roof over your head, you've got food on the table, and there's food in the cupboard. Like, it's not all bad. It's all to do with your mindset. And watching The Secret and learning about affirmations and gratitude was just, it was life-changing for me. It gave me sort of more of a purpose that I can change this mood, even though I am anxious. I mean, I've always suffered with anxiety and panic attacks just throughout life, but it was just sort of a way of, you just sort of brush it off and deal with it. Whereas when I started meditating and doing the affirmations and saying what I was grateful for, it just gave me a whole different drive and focus that I just didn't know I had before.
Wow. So there were loads of stuff I wanted to ask you earlier on.
Sorry.
I won't go back. So the affirmation stuff is a big thing in recovery.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think when you refer to recovery, it's so a lot of people that sold drugs, let's say a lot of addicts that sold drugs will have had nice things, and you can have a lot of short-term money, basically.
Yeah.
So you have lots of things, and then you get into recovery, and then you have to get a normal job where you don't really earn much, and that's where it's really important, because it's sort of, I used to have, and that's the big thing. I used to have
this, I used to have that.
Yeah, and it's like you say, it's about reminding yourself that you don't have to worry about the police.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about your mum getting that phone call. You don't have to worry about all those sort of things. It's something I don't do enough. I really struggle with praise. I really struggle with talking about some of the positive stuff that we do. So there's some people where I live, and we do quite a lot. And somebody had to sit me down and say, normal people don't do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So when they hear what you're doing, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But for you, it's just, we're just doing this thing. It's just another project that's going to help other people rather than us. And we do a lot of stuff like that. And I really struggled to, like, when we did a video for somebody here, and he was like, oh, make sure you put your name on end. And I was like, oh no, I'm not bothered for that.
No, get it on end.
I didn't do it for that. And that he was the same. And people get really angry with me. So Lauren, who sent me the voice message, she's always like, you need to be like, you do all these things, and you never take credit, you never put your name to anything. So there's all these amazing things happening. I was like, yeah, but I don't do it for praise. I don't do it.
But it'll be something that you're proud of.
Yeah, but that's for me. That's not for everybody.
Yeah, but
this is the way I see it.
If you're a part of it, though, you still should blow your own trumpet. Like I always say, like, no one else is going to blow your own trumpet apart from you, so blow it.
But we do. I mean, even just as a nation, I think we really struggle because it sounds braggy. And
Well, yeah.
do you know the best thing I say to young people? Do you know what? If you do something good, you should be shouting about it.
Yeah,
you
damn
should be
right,
bragging
damn
about
right.
it.
But-
And then when it's me, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
don't want to talk
just-
about it.
It's just that
But again,
thing, isn't
that's
it?
the way we've been brought up. If you think about when you were when you were at school, even people say, "Oh, look how nice my hair is," or people
Yeah.
think, oh, "She loves herself a bit, doesn't she?"
Yeah.
And so it's always been portrayed as a bad thing. Or why is she
Mm.
bigging herself up? Why is she? Well, excuse my French, but why the fuck not? Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you feel good and you like your hair and you're happy with your body or whatever it is that you're doing that you're happy about, then you should sing and shout about it because no one else is going to for you.
Yeah, I sponsored a football team. That's what that shirt is. And
Oh,
I
is
went
it?
to watch their training, and they were umming and ahhing whether they wanted me to do a talk to the kids after. So I usually talk about when most of the people I speak to that have been to prison all say it starts early on. So when your mum tells you to go to bed, do you moan about it? Do you whinge about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time? Do you say, well, my mates go to bed at this time? And if it's a yes, then that's the same behaviours that lead people
Yeah.
to prison. I'm not saying you're going to go to prison for not going to bed.
Yeah, but it'll
You
stem.
know, and then talk
from
about
there.
the reason why we go to bed at a certain time, and you know the parents having to get us up, and we need to be ready for school and all these things. So we talk about that sort of stuff. So I'm preparing this speech, and while I'm watching the training, I just thought there was some sort of positivity, but it was more like, oh, why didn't you? Rather than, oh, that was really close.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's the thing with young people.
They always tend to focus on the negatives rather than the
yeah,
positives.
and bringing each other down. You know,
Well, it's banter. But
then you want to say to him, do you know, if I said to you, that was a really, really good shot, how would you feel? Like, oh yeah, it'd be good. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it
I
gives
did a
you a
good
little
shot.
heart
It's like,
flutter,
so
and
why
you're
don't
like,
you
oh,
do that
yeah.
to the rest of your team? Why don't
Yeah.
you say to them, oh, that was really, really close.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good shot. That.
Praise is the most important thing, and especially in your job and your line of work. Like, if you do a good job and your boss tells you, do you know what, well done, thank you for that, you've done a really good job, it gives you that motivation to be like, yeah, I did do a good job, and on to the next one. We're going to do another good job next time.
Yeah.
And it's literally all about mindset. I mean, we're programmed as human beings to just do what we're comfortable with and be comfortable, but it's all about reprogramming your brain and making it think in a sort of different way. I mean, my granddad was a psychoanalyst, a psychotherapist, and a hypnotherapist, and he always used to say, it's not about what you do, it's about what you think. What you think about and what you tell yourself are the most important things in the world, because your self-value and how you perceive yourself is the most important thing in the world. Forget what everybody else thinks. And I always think if someone makes a bad comment or a negative comment or somebody's got an issue, then I feel like it's their issue, and it's for them to deal with. If they have an issue with me, then some people are for others, some people are for not. And I always say, if you've got an issue, please come and talk to me about it. Or if it's really that deep, then I'd rather just cut ties, because it's not worth it. Like I say, just cut the negative people out of your life. The people who are not benefiting you, the people who are dragging you down, who are always complaining, it's not worth them dampening your mood.
Yeah,
Over.
Completely agree. So I'm going to go on like she's some sort of superhero, but Lauren again, so a few months ago, just after lockdown, so I had plans for 2020, and obviously lockdown happened and they all got put to one side. So I was at a point where, so some months I get paid, some months I don't get paid anything, depending on the way funding works. And I'm trying to buy a house and I'm trying to do all these things, and it's really affecting progression.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in this really sort of negative place of, I need to stop doing this. I need a job where I've got a salary and I've got a monthly income, and then I can say, these are my bank statements, this is my salary, this is my contract, this is, you know, I'm there for however many years or whatever it is. And that's what in my head I needed to do. And I spoke to her about it. She came on here actually, and we were talking, and she sort of told me off. And she was just like, if you want to give up, and that's how she put it.
Yeah, if you want to
give up and go back and get a normal job, but what you need to do is you need to get your head out your ass, you need to make a plan,
Yeah.
and you need to do this, you need to do that. And as soon as I started thinking differently, as soon as I started thinking, I can do this if I put more effort into this
Yeah.
and look at, okay, so everyone's in the same situation.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So what we're going to do, my income comes from delivering in schools and groups. That's not an option anymore. What we're going to do. And then I was like, right, our job is about delivering messages. How else can we deliver messages? Let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'll invest myself into my podcast, and then now we've got funding to do it for a little while. So we're hoping that this will continue. And instead of thinking, okay, this isn't working, factory reset, let's go get a job.
Yeah.
Because it was a long time working, 4 years, 2 jobs, 3 jobs to get to this point.
Yeah.
And it's a massive step
And
backwards
not having a
to go
stable
back
income
there.
as well will always be at the back of your mind.
Yeah. But it's just been about being more sensible with, when I earn good money, I spend more that month. Simple as that.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So it's just, okay, if this is how much I'm earning, so 30% of every wage I get on a month needs to go into a savings.
Yeah.
And then
And
the rest
every
of it's-
person will do that anyway. Every person will do that anyway. This is what we earn monthly. This is what the house bills cost. This is what the car costs. And then nobody lives on savings nowadays. It doesn't work. You get your monthly wage, you take everything out, once all the bills are paid, and then you've got that amount that you're left with to survive for the rest of the month. But it's just living by your means and not being materialistic, as I say.
This is my ex bought me a watch, an Armani watch. It lives in its box.
Yeah, still.
I take it out if I'm going somewhere nice. I've never had like expensive or nice things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then again, that's the difference between, like, I think people mistake happiness with pleasure quite a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with materialistic things. Pleasure it's short lasted. Same with a beautiful chocolate cake. If you have a beautiful chocolate cake, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You sit and finish it all. The second time, it's not so amazing.
Yeah.
Third time, you feel sick. Same with a song. If you love a song, you play it the first, second time. By 5 plays, you're like, oh my God, I'm sick of this song. And that's why people mistake happiness and pleasure. Happiness is a state of fulfillment. It's being happy with where you are in life. And as I say to people, if you don't like where you are, just move. You're not a tree. Like, I was in the other side of Manchester. Yes, just move. You're not a tree. You're not. You can change anything, no matter what part of your life it is that you feel that's not working for you. You just need to plan, reevaluate, and then execute it and put it in a way that's better for you to understand and to move forward over.
Yeah, I think with happiness, it is very much a state of mind rather than a temporary.
Oh God, yes.
There's so many things that have to be put into place for you to genuinely feel happy. Yeah. A girl from school, really long-term relationship, and she's very much like you. Always happy, always bouncy, always, and it's just she put up with shit for that long. And then it's like nothing.
You just had
I'm
enough
not
of
going to
shit.
choose to let anything happen in my life that's going to make me feel that way again.
Well, it's like when people say, "Oh, I had a really bad day today," and then I think, I bet you didn't have a bad day. I bet you just had a bad 5 minutes that you let ruin your day. Yeah. Which, when I think about it, it's not worth it. And happiness is an inside job. I mean, when I split up with my ex-boyfriend before. The relationship was awful, and it got to the point where I was just like, I'm sick of feeling like shit, like nothing is helping. I can't pick myself up no matter what I tried. So I watched a inspirational speaker about pretending you're happy. So I thought, well, I'll try it as an exercise. So I was like, right, I'm going to pretend to be happy. So I told myself, I'm really happy, like I'm happy. And then I was mentioning all the things that I was happy about, and sooner or not, I think it took about 4 weeks, I actually genuinely felt happier within myself, because I was telling myself that I was happy. Even though I wasn't happy at the time, I was going through a lot of shit, but I was telling myself, no, I'm happy, we can get past this, I'm happy, I'm on my own, I'm in charge now, we can do whatever we want. And it is literally just what you tell yourself. And I say to people, everybody has a nice voice and a nasty voice inside the head. And that nasty voice will never say anything nice. It'll always contradict you and it will always beat you down. But it's telling that nasty voice to just shut up. I know I'm not speaking to you today. We're not on that vibe. We're on this vibe. We're going to do this, this and this, and this is how we're going to do it. And it's literally just like, because my partner thinks I'm mental, because I'll be upstairs on my own and I'll be talking to myself. And he was like, who are you with? Well, no one, just me, but it's not that.
So you verbally...
Yeah, I will verbally
okay.
say it out loud, and it's the same thing with your affirmations. The first time you do it, the first time I did it, I laughed. I was like, I sound like a right idiot. You know, I am beautiful, I am happy, I'm motivated. We're gonna go to work. We're gonna have a really good day. It is weird to say it out loud, but as soon as you do it a few times, and then after a couple of days, you're like, you know what? Actually, I do feel a bit better. Like that crazy girl Jasmin is actually talking sense.
Yeah, there's I don't know if it was a trick or not, but we did some work in Bradford last year with a youth group, and they cut an apple in half, and then they cut each half into smaller bits and kept them separate, and then they'd have the kids would decorate 2 trays, and one would be happy and one would be sad. So the happy apple, they'd be like, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're clever, you're this, you're that. And everyone would be like, you're rubbish, you're never going to do anything in your life. And it bruises quicker.
Oh.
The bad apple bruises quicker when you say negative things to it. And I really hope it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Because if them youth workers go in on a night and they're just like...
just like poking the apple,
thumbing the bad apple. But it must be something to do with the way you project your voice, like the carbon monoxide that comes out, or dioxide, or whatever it is. It's got to be something to do with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm like a little kid and Santa Claus, and I just want to believe it.
Yeah, I want to believe. Just believe it anyway. Believe it.
It definitely works.
You can believe anything.
How hard was it to cut people out of your life?
Very hard. Extremely hard. The two best friends that were like brother and sister to me, I would say that friendship breakup was worse than the breakup with my ex-boyfriend. Obviously I lost them, and they were such a big part in my life, and they had such an impact on my life, such a positive impact on my life. I didn't want it to end when it ended badly, but it was sort of out of my hands where it went. I mean, I don't regret what happened. Everything happens for a reason, and I think everybody gets to some stage in their life where you realise some people don't benefit your life. They might seem that they do at the time, but they tend to be very take. And then I'm too nice. I'm very quite. I will help anybody if anybody needs help, but I think it goes to a point where you're like, okay, I'm not getting. Yeah. And it's not a two-way street here, and it's getting to the point where it's affecting me and my mental health, and I think that's where you need to just draw the line and be like, that's it, I'm done. Especially me and my partner helped them so much. We were there for them to be all and end all. If they needed anything, we were there within an hour or whatever. And I think when I think about that, and I think if I needed help, real help, there's probably 1 or maybe 2 people that are close by that I know I could rely on. And it was literally just thinking about, I'm going to be selfish from now on. It's my time to be selfish. Like, I've tried. And then when I think back on it now, and I think, yeah, the friendship breakup was bad, and I've never cried. I've been upset over a friend like I have that. Like I was ex-boyfriend, it was worse. But when I look back on it now, and I think, oh, everything happens for a reason, and I needed to get out of their life so I could progress in my own life. And I think sometimes when you get close to people and you're helping people out, you sort of get a bit zoned in on their life and a bit stuck in on their life. Yep. And then you start with, obviously, you forget about yourself a bit. So it's sort of like, right, we need to reevaluate now. So it was sort of like a big hit for me. But I think the big hit is what I needed. And I think sometimes it's like I say about everybody, like everybody needs to hit rock bottom to be like, yeah, I've had enough of this now. I've had enough of feeling like shit. Things have got to change, and they need to change now. So that's when you just put a plan into place straight away. And you think about, I remember obviously watching The Secret and everything else. And the first time I sat down with a pen and paper, and I was like, what do I want? What do I want out of life? And days went by with that notepad empty. Like, what? It's such a hard question to ask yourself when you say, what do you want out of life? What do you want? So I was like, okay.
Because do people usually turn to like material things?
Well, yeah. I mean, they turned, I want a new car. I mean, materialistic thing is fine, like, but I was like, I want to be independent. I want my own house. I want my own showroom. I mean, at the time I was working as a design consultant, so I'd progressed to the point where I was at a position where I wanted to be, but I was never going to be in charge, and I'd always be a second designer. So I knew for myself that there was no progression with that company there for me, and I'd always be a second designer, and I was comfortable with what I was doing, which it sounds mad, which is I am uncomfortable with being comfortable. Yeah. If you know what I mean. If I find I go to work and I do my job and it's fine, I can go home and it's easy.
No challenge.
I need a challenge. It's got to be challenging, and I think everybody needs that. So I was like, right, I'm going to leave. So as soon as I left, I was like, right, I want my own showroom. And I was saying, with affirmations and morning gratitude, I was saying every morning, I want my own showroom. I want my own showroom. I'm going to have my own showroom. It's going to be me. And 4 years it took of me saying, I'm going to get my own showroom. I'm going to have my own showroom. I got offered the most amazing job opportunity. And it was literally like, when he said it to me, I was like, are you taking the piss? Like, are you serious? And now I'm a showroom manager for MKM, which is a builder's merchant in Leeds. I've got a lovely kitchen and bathroom showroom. We sell kitchens, bedrooms and bathrooms. And I set it all up. The file system, ordering system, all the files, paperwork, everything. And I feel so blessed, and I'm so grateful to be given this opportunity. And then obviously I've been there since October, so it's just coming up to a year. And then obviously once you get into the swing of it being open, and then you get a little bit of have I bitten off more than I can chew here?
Yeah.
And then you're like second guessing yourself. And then obviously, I mean, even people as happy as me, we have bad days. Everybody has bad days. And it's thinking about, fucking hell, what am I going to do here? Like, have I bitten off more than I can chew? What do I need to do? And it's like, no, we need more meetings. We need more of a business plan. We want a meeting every Friday, and just being, like you said, just get more on top of your game, and being used to the challenge at work. It's something that I've never been in charge before, and it's amazing. I haven't got anyone telling me what to do. I can schedule what I do when on a day, whether I've got design appointments or I'm going out to site, and I absolutely love my job. Yeah. Absolutely love it. And then when I think back, and I think, if I would have settled, I was where I wanted to be. Yeah. I had the job I wanted. I was in. If
you'd have stuck to being comfortable.
Yeah, if I would have stuck to being comfortable, then I would have never been able to be part of this amazing opportunity. And I couldn't. We work with such amazing people. MKM is such an amazing business plan, and everybody who wants to be there is there. Everybody enjoys their job. Everybody wants to come to work, and it's such a different vibe, like we've never been on before.
I can imagine what those files look like as well. So Jazz came for a photo shoot this morning with Phil at Mitchell Photography. A little plug for him. So last night, was it last night you sent me a picture?
Yeah.
I got a picture of about 15 outfits folded on a bed. Like, I've got these colours, I'll just bring them all. And then when she arrived, they was all put out on the floor.
Yeah, all labelled out. Pick what you want.
So I was sort of like, are you putting them because that goes with that? Or, and she's like, I'm just going to put them here and just you. And I was like, no, you won't feel comfortable if I say, let's use that one with that one.
Yeah, put them with them.
I was going to do it just to see how you'd
They're majorly organised.
But yeah, you're the first person that's brought an iron.
Oh yeah, but need an iron just in case.
We didn't even get to use it, did we? Because we wanted to do the shirt thing.
We've got it just in case.
How was the shoot? How did you feel?
Really well. Yeah, no, the shoot was really good. Obviously, I've never done a photo shoot before in my life. I've always wanted to do a photo shoot, but obviously the cost is always, and obviously time as well. But no, I mean, you guys were so good at directing, at taking photos, obviously moving the lights and whatever, and guiding me in the right direction. It made me feel really comfortable and obviously settled. We're in a nice enclosed space. There's nobody that can come and nosy in.
Dodgy basement with cameras set up, like, come in here.
But no, it was really good. Hopefully do more in the future.
Yeah, we had to cut short, didn't we, because Phil had to leave. But yeah, so there's still there's still some ideas we want to play about with.
Yeah.
You were showing your strength off on the pummel horse. So we in this building, there was a guy who used to have a gym. And then he's disappeared. I don't know if he's moved away, if he's gone to prison. I don't know what's happened, but all his equipment's still here. So they were just moving it into a room not far from here. So as we were walking past, we was meant to have a girl called Faye come in 2 weeks ago on Saturday, I think it was, a week ago on Saturday. And she couldn't come that day, but on the Friday, I was like, oh, so Faye's into training. Can we borrow some of this stuff? So we got a kettlebell, we got a pummel horse. There's a weights bench, but with no legs, so it's really unsteady. And then this weird thing that we've not used, that you stand on and your legs just go out. So you stand forward.
Oh yeah, my mum used to have one of them.
Your legs just go out like this. I was like, that don't feel right at all.
It's to wear the inside of your legs.
Yeah, but it's on like slopes. Each foot's on like a
roller.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum used to have one of them.
Oh yeah, that were weird. So we was just like, can we borrow all this stuff and the famous silver chain?
Yeah.
The famous, made famous. I'll just tell you. So with the last podcast we did, I got 3 people in. We did it before we got the studio. Them 3 came in and we just talked about like what's going on in the news, like quite a relevant type thing. Yeah. So we got them back in because I want to do fun ones as well as serious ones. So them 3 have been giving me so much shit about that picture. So if you haven't seen the picture, I'll even put the picture on this screen now just so people can see it. So the idea is I've got no top on and I'm quite pale, but then I've got tattoos and a beard. And my beard, before I shaved it, was really long. A hat and then this big, ridiculously heavy silver chain. So I said to him, I'm not having a picture without my top on. And then he was like, oh, it'll be blurred, so you won't really see you. It's just to get... So there's a couple of other pictures that look really good.
Yeah.
So he took that picture and... So I breathe in when I'm on stage because I'm not in the same shape as what I was when I used to train a few years ago. So I am conscious, self-conscious. But I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to post it because the idea is the way the lighting works with... the contrast of my beard and my skin, and then the tattoos, and then the silver of the chain and all this. And I was expecting it. And then these 3 have been 3 that have given me the most shit. So because we've done a podcast before, we were in a messenger group, the 4 of us. So all stuff was getting put in this group. So when they came on, I was like, bring some topics that you want to talk about. I've got a couple. Yeah. So what we do now is we put that TV on the table here facing this way, and then Phil will be here and he'll type stuff into Google and we can see it. Oh, yeah. So we can look up stuff. So I was like, what I want to talk about first is a picture came out of Arnold Schwarzenegger who's put weight on and, how do you feel about... Because things like Macaulay Culkin's 40, but because we watch Home Alone every year, you don't think he's aged. You always see him as that little kid. So because we always see Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone as these big guys, when you see him look different, and Vin Diesel, there was a picture of him... They're very
old now.
Yeah, there was a picture of Vin Diesel on a balcony with a big belly, and he's just like, I don't stay in shape between filming. Like, why would I put myself through that routine all year round? Like, if I'm doing a film, I'll get in shape.
Yeah.
So I got him talking about that. And then Caroline Flack, Be Kind, how long that lasted because everyone was doing the Be Kind and then something else had happened, like, go kill yourself. And it's like, really? So I made sure they were the first 2 topics we spoke about.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so now we've got that out of the way, let's talk about my picture. And it was all just like, so they couldn't really say all then because they just had 2 conversations where like, so I think it's disgusting the way we body shame men.
Doing it on purpose so they can't shame you. Yeah. So
it was a good plan, well executed.
Yeah, definitely. Executed.
So, but I enjoyed that. But like I said, the picture was, I knew it was gonna get some shit, and it keeps popping up because someone will comment on it. It'll keep popping up on people's feeds, and then someone else will be like, "Why is this picture still on my thing?" with a comment. So then that goes on everyone else's feed again. So I put a comment saying, "If only you all commented on my podcast like this to keep them relevant in people's," because that's one thing that does make me cross.
Yeah, there's a lot more negativity than there is positivity in the world.
And if I'm scrolling through Facebook and someone started a business, I'll share it. If someone's saying I need an electrician, I'll tag a few of my mates, electricians, or a joiner, and it takes seconds. If someone's trying to sell something or whatever it is,
share it.
But I've got like 2,500 people on Facebook and only 70 somewhat subscribers the channel, and you just like, to me, it doesn't make a difference whether people watch it or not. But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm trying to get people on, there's a girl who races motorbikes, and she does modelling and she does all sorts. So I messaged her sort of saying, "Oh, do you want to come on and talk about?" I wanted to talk about being a female in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
So, you know, how are you treated? Do you get the whole sort of, "Oh, I'll be faster than you, you're a girl," that sort of thing? How
Yeah,
did you get into it? All this sort of stuff. And she asked for links to the podcast.
Oh, so she could have a look. Yeah.
And I know that she's looked and seen, well, it's having sort of around 1,000 views. So what? I've got 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'm not going to do this podcast. Do you know what I mean?
How can anybody start from anywhere, though?
Yeah, I know. There's some, but I've always said, you know, with the work we do, we go talk to a school, and we could talk to, if we did sort of a class an hour, so you're talking like 30 kids, maybe we're there for 5 hours. So if each time we talk to 30 kids, if one of them thinks differently next time they make a bad decision,
Yeah, then you've made a
I'm
difference.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if people get something from these
Oh, God, yeah.
talks, then that's all we do it for.
Yeah,
You know?
no, totally. It's the same with doing like lives on Facebook. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
the
tell me
same
about
with
your lives. Tell me about your lives.
Jasmin's Thursday Live and
Is it
Monday
every
Lives.
Thursday?
It used to be every Thursday when I had my last job. And then with the new job, we were doing Monday Lives. And then since work has taken over my life, the Monday Lives have gone down a little bit. I should have done one during lockdown, but I was so excited about lockdown.
What day is it today?
Monday. Yeah.
You've got to do one for me
This
before you
is
go.
it.
No, this isn't
Oh,
live.
you want me to do one before we go?
Do a live before you
Yeah,
leave.
we could do a live and get
We? No,
We?
we can't do a live.
Just me?
You can do a live.
All
yeah.
right, I will do a live before I
I'll
leave.
just be in background on sofa, like picking my nose or something like that.
Yeah. No, the lives, to be honest, if I'm honest, I signed up with Juice Plus. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Juice Plus. She's mentioned Juice Plus. Please don't turn us off. I won't talk about it for long. I'm allergic to fresh fruit. I've always been allergic to fresh fruit, so it was literally no brainer for me to do that. But obviously, I gained a lot of marketing experience from being part of Juice Plus, and obviously doing lives and talking to people in public and talking about the way you feel. So it helps me in a lot of ways to get more on social media and be a bit more out there, which is where my Monday Lives and Thursday Lives started from. I used to talk about how to make yourself happy. Obviously, because you're the only person that can make you happy. No one else or nothing else is going to make you happy apart from you. And then I've done a couple on saving money, yoga stretches. But genuinely, it's just a genuine chit chat. I mean, I can talk for hours. So it's nice doing a live because obviously there's no one there to interrupt you, and it's just you going off on a vibe. So
Did you say there's no idiot there to interrupt?
no,
you?
there's nobody there like to
I thought
interrupt
you. Said,
you.
yeah, I was going to say, so is that me
But obviously
in this
doing
situation?
a podcast is a lot better because you've got a conversation as well.
Yeah.
But the amount of feedback I got from my lives, I was so shocked. Like, people personally messaging me saying, oh my God, you've made my day brighter. Thanks ever so much for helping out with tips and tricks. And when all these messages started coming through, I was like, oh my God, I genuinely didn't see it like that. That was just me doing a live and just having a chit chat with people. But I know a lot of people have messaged me saying they benefit from me being positive. And it's literally the same about yourself. Like, especially on social media, if I see anybody post anything negative, I'll snooze you for 30 days. And it's the same with anything else. And it's the same with social media, and especially the news, especially during all down this lockdown. And I won't touch on the whole COVID thing and my opinion, because I know a lot of people won't agree with me. But the media in general is just, I mean, I don't have TV at mine.
You can talk about whatever you want.
If
you want to talk about COVID, you talk about COVID.
There's no TV at mine. I don't watch the news. We only have Netflix and chill. That's all we have in my house.
So
and it's
sex. You know what that is. Yeah, so you just, there's no
Netflix
TV.
and chill.
just
We
sex
eat
constantly.
food. We watch series. It's the TV and the media just portray stuff in such a negative way, and it's all a fear factor to scare everybody and to keep people under lockdown. And it's that when I moved into my house and I said, that is it, I'm not having TV and I'm not having no radio, there's nothing on in this house apart from playlists or series. As soon as I made that decision, I noticed a change, obviously, in myself, because you've not got any outside negativity.
Yeah.
And I always find that whatever happens in the world, whatever happens, like for instance COVID-19, there will always be something worse that comes next. There is always something that is worse and worse and worse. And they don't talk about anything positive on the news. And I think, well, it's the same with the government in the election. Obviously, I'll go and vote, but I feel like it's not going to make a difference to us. We're still going to have to go to work. We're still going to have to support ourselves and keep a roof over our head, and it's not going to benefit us or affect us in any way. So I'd rather just block it out and focus on yourself. That's why I say to people, it's better to live in your own little world. As I say, I live in Jasmin land. Like, someone will say, "Oh, did you see that on the TV?" And I'm like, "No, no idea."
Yeah.
Just to remove the negativity out of your life and just filter out anything that you don't want. Even if you get a little inkling. I mean, I've met up with friends who I haven't seen in ages, and sometimes you're like, no, the vibe's just not right, and you just don't click like you used to. Well, that's why I don't have a lot of friends, because I'm quite picky. Like, I'll know a lot of people, I'll go and see a lot of people, but I'd say I can count my best friends on one hand.
Okay. See, I struggle with, so the reason I asked about blocking people from your life. So part of my recovery is part of the 12-step recovery is you don't have a friend who's using drugs and say, I'm going to take you to a meeting. That's not how you get people into recovery. No. What you do is you live your best life, and then you let them see what you're doing. Yeah. And then when they come and say, how have you done that? You say, I'll show you if you want. Yeah, yeah. So attraction rather than promotion is what they call
definitely.
It. So one of the bits of advice I got when I left prison was delete Facebook, start again, only allow certain people on. And I was just really torn between, well, how am I supposed to let all the lads and lasses who I've used drugs with, who I've committed crime with,
if they want to find
how can they see that my life is different because of recovery if I'm not allowing them to see it?
They don't need to see the recovery stage, though.
Well, if I'm trying to show them that there's a better way of living, the only way to do it is to keep them on social media. So I didn't delete anybody off Facebook. And the other thing is, anytime
that's probably a personal growth for you. You wanted them to see that.
Yeah, but then, and I'm understanding what you're saying because I've been so sort of tightly wound up for months because we've been doing a lot around Black Lives Matter. Yeah, yeah. So I went into this sort of wormhole of research and trying to understand what's been going on.
Yeah.
But this is
It's
years.
beyond. It's beyond years.
But I've been looking into this for years. So
years.
Probably about 4 years I've been doing research into this about situations that have happened. And then obviously it's been a massive thing that's been put onto everybody. And it's been nice to see. In fact, it's not been nice to see. It's been worrying to see. It's been nice to see some people stand up, is what I was going to say. But it's been worrying to see the amount of people that pushed back against it. Yeah. And it's...
All lives matter.
Yeah. But all lives matter. This is it. We need to be talking about the stuff that's going on in America, because until we highlight these issues and until these issues stop happening, then we can't say that all lives matter. Yeah, yeah. So we need to get it to a point where all lives do matter, but at the moment they don't. Yeah. So this is the raising awareness side to it. And I found myself in conversations on Facebook where it's just sucking the life out of me. And all that kept me going is knowing that I've only been trying to understand this for 4 years. You know, some people have been doing this for a lot longer than that. Yeah, yeah. And then what's even worse is, and I did it myself, now people are turning to their black friends and been like, oh, can you teach me about this? And it's like, it's not their job to do this, but I found myself. So I was talking to somebody, but
you want their opinion about it. I think that's what you value more.
Yeah, definitely. And there was a girl who's over from Texas, who lives here now. Her and her mum, they came on and talked, and we was having a podcast, and she was telling me about racism and her dad and her best mate from being like nothing up, a young black girl who, like I say, best mates, never saw any issues, and they were trying to remember the first time they had witnessed racism. Yeah. And so she quoted her dad, and she said the N-word. So she did his accent. She was just like, said the whole sentence that he said, and then when it came to editing, I was sat thinking, do I take that out?
No.
I messaged two of my black friends. I was like, "What would you say to this?" And then I was like, "No, I've turned into that guy.
Yeah.
I've been like, excuse me, you're black. Can you answer me this question?" I was like, "No, I'm that guy."
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to do because it's a hot topic.
Yeah, it is,
and
definitely.
everyone's sort of hesitating with certain
Yeah,
words
yeah,
and
and
like,
everybody
I'm
will
not sure what to
jump,
say
yeah.
and things are, and rightly so. But I just didn't want it to cause any problems for
Well,
her.
it's just
or-
about having a general understanding and then compassion,
yeah.
and just seeing that their side of the story and their experiences.
Yeah, and just trying to understand what it's been like.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is for a lot of people, BLM is April, May time.
Yeah,
Whereas,
yeah.
like I say, the first time I heard it was 4 years ago, and then it's been going on a lot longer than
Yeah,
that
it
as
has,
well.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so there is, and there's that, and there's all sorts of stuff going on social media, and then everyone's like, you're doing all these stuff towards Black Lives Matter, but what about all these young kids that are being abused? And it's sort of, all right.
That's why you get into a spiral,
yeah,
because
this
you
is
go
it.
on Black Lives Matter and then I'll save the children, and then you go
Yeah.
off and off and off, and then
Yeah. And it got to the point where even I've never removed anyone off Facebook for something they've said, because I think it's, for me, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they say something I don't like, then by removing them, I've got no way of either getting my point across,
or talking to them about it.
or if they're saying something that is wrong,
Yeah.
then they're always going to think the same way if
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
one there to educate them on what it is that they're saying that's wrong.
But
I
that
had a
like,
few
should go with
people-
anything.
Yeah, definitely. I had a few people remove me through that time,
Yeah, I've had a few. I've had
which
a
was
few of that.
frustrating because, like, again, you don't get to finish that conversation.
Yeah.
So-
But then, for me, it's not about finishing that conversation. I always find they must have an issue with it, so that's their issue, and they're not strong enough to maybe approach you and talk about it. Like I said, if anyone's got an issue, or if I've pissed anyone off, like, just have a chat with me and then we can talk about it, so I can understand why you're pissed off or your side of the story or whatever. It's literally just communication.
Yeah. And it's one of the things I've taken from lockdown, like being away from people, conversations, just even eating out.
Yeah.
You won't believe how much I missed eating in restaurants,
Yeah.
because that's where. So if I'm having a meeting with somebody, I always try and make it around food. I think it's more personal when you.
Yeah, if you go out and have something to eat, yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's literally why they started. How can we still have these conversations? How can we have difficult conversations for people to see through lockdown?
Yeah.
So we did one with the two girls I mentioned who I rung up and asked, "Is this okay?" Two amazing youth workers from Huddersfield, and we did one that was a Facebook Live,
Yeah.
and I think there's a good element to that because more people are likely to watch it
Yeah,
while
because
it's
it's on
happening.
Facebook, yeah.
Whereas if you've got to click links to get to something, you're less
Yeah,
likely
yeah.
to watch it. But I think because of the topic, it was just really well viewed as well. To the point where I think I'm thinking about doing it more.
You should.
But the only downside is the more we do Facebook Live, the more people watch it at the time, the less. So when people are looking to see how well we're doing,
Yeah.
like I think that video on YouTube's got 100 views, but when you go to the Facebook
Yeah, it's got
version,
more.
it's thousands.
It's just getting people to promote it more and share it and watch it. The more people share it, the more people will see it.
Yeah. Do you do any Facebook advertising or anything?
No, I did a bit about hemp smart CBD oil.
Oh yeah.
But that was literally just my personal. I ordered it. I've taken CBD oil for even before it was a thing.
Right.
I've got really bad arthritis in my knees. Shocking. So if
You
I
could have told us that before we had you doing all
yeah,
that
well,
stuff earlier.
I've had my CBD this morning. So as long as I have my CBD, and especially in my wrists and my fingers, it's just something that I wanted to review. And I did a live about the Hemp Smart, and I posted it on their page, only because it was when I first did it, it was a bit of a taboo, and people were a bit skeptical on taking it. I mean, obviously because it's CBD oil. People are like, oh my God, are we going to get high from it? Like, no, you just get all the medicinal purposes from it. So, that's the only thing that I've promoted really, and obviously Juice Plus, but I don't really promote Juice Plus. I just sort of, it's there if anybody wants it. I would never outright message anybody and be like, come and buy my Juice Plus. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's noticed a difference in me, and being allergic to fruit is sort of a no-brainer for me to take it, so...
Yeah. bought into aloe vera.
Yeah, aloe vera.
At one point. I can't
There's
remember
loads of different
I
things
can't
out
remember what
there.
the thing was, but I bought the welcome pack, and then so I made some memes around aloe vera. So there was one where it was like an old woman with a gun, like she's paid your debt, now what? And then it's like I'll owe Vera. There was a love era, as in like the 60s or
Yeah,
whenever that
yeah.
was, and then one saying hello. Oh, I can't remember what the third one was, but it was just 3 plays on the words, and that's
Yeah,
as much
yeah.
effort as I put into it. Like all the other stuff, I gave away to people for free. So
Yeah,
I paid
yeah.
like £350 for this pack.
Yeah, obviously, I've never had anything for free, unfortunately. I had to buy my hemp smart.
Oh no,
obviously,
yeah,
I buy my capsules.
free. I mean, it cost me £350, and I was like, "Oh, try this. Let me know what you think." And then never really like I think I used the toothpaste myself, and there was like a skin cream. So I was just.
It
giving,
all
like, my
depends on
mum
you
and-
as a person whether you can kick off with it or not.
Yeah, it didn't really.
I mean, the girls that sell Juice Plus, they are so on it. It's unreal, and they don't have jobs. They just full time do Juice Plus. I mean, Millie, she's on the same wage as I am, and she does Juice Plus. She's been doing it for 7 years. I mean, I like social media. I like it. I like going through Facebook. I like seeing what everybody's doing. I like making motivational videos. I like stretching, whatever. But whereas Juice Plus, that sort of took it away from me.
Yeah.
It sort of made it like, oh my God, it's a task. I need to post. And then, so that's when I was like, right, okay, I'm not cut out for this. I'm happy to buy it because obviously I need it, and I'm happy to sell it, but I'm not pushing it as promotion
Yeah.
people do. It's all about what works best with you. If it's not working, then just change it.
Did I send you the link to that? Phil's just sent me a picture. I know this isn't going to look good on video, but
Yeah.
so if he lets me, I'll put it up on screen so
Yeah.
people can see. And if
I
you're
can't
cool
wait
with
to
it-
see some of the shots.
Yeah, the shadows on it look amazing. Did I send you the link to the group, the future? I can't find
I
it
can't
if I
remember
have.
whether you did
But
or
there's
not.
so a guy. Oh yeah, so Future Lifestyle Pro. So if you join that group, that's
add
a
me.
guy called Matthew who came on here, and I watched one of his live videos, and he was just talking through. So we was all on the video, and then he was like, right, what I want you all to do is I want you to go on one of your social medias, don't matter whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever, look for something that someone's posted and either like it or put a comment.
Yeah.
So we did that, and we went through a few things. Then he said, right, go through your messages and look for something that you've either not completed or have completed. And if you have completed it, just say, oh, I'm just checking in to see how that thing went.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, do you know what? I've never thought about
Pointless
doing stuff like this. Yeah. But then the
It's
other
so
part to me was,
time-consuming.
what if all of these reply and say, yeah, and do you want to do this now? And I'm like, I'm too busy to bring more stuff
It is
in.
literally Juice Plus to get people to see more of your posts. So it's simple like marketing skills. So for
Yeah.
instance, if I was going to post a picture about or a video about stretching or Juice Plus or anything, before I post that picture, I will go on Facebook and I will let me rephrase that. You've got to love the comment and love the post and make a comment on that post, and you've got to do that for at least 10 to 15 people. If you do that before you post your post, when you do post it, a hell of a lot more people will see it because you've interacted with them on Facebook before you've made the post. So the more people you interact with on Facebook before you post that post, then a load more people are going to see that post rather than just going on Facebook, posting it, and then just putting your phone down. Well, not many people are going to see that because your time on Facebook's very limited. You've just gone on, posted it, and then you've left it. So people might see it maybe a day later, 2 days later. But it's just getting that interaction.
Right,
But there's
okay.
loads of social media
The stuff
tips
he was
and
saying
tricks.
really made me think, I don't do enough. Like everything he said made sense.
Yeah.
But like I say, I would just, in back of my mind, I was just like, I'm too busy to continue these conversations. Like if I message 10 people and they're like, oh yeah, it went really well,
Yeah.
how are you doing? I'm like, now I've opened up.
Yeah, but you don't have to respond straight away. It's not like when someone text messages, you've got to respond straight
Yeah.
away. Facebook is a bit different. If someone messages you, it's not a life and death situation. You don't have to
I know, but
message them
I'm
back straight
terrible as
away.
it is. Like I could go through my messenger
don't open
messages
it.
with you now, and there'll be so many unopened messages where it'll pop up, and I'll think, oh, I'll come back to that.
Well, you need to just set an admin day then. Because that's what I
Yeah.
used to do with Juice Plus. Mondays were live admin day, and I would just spend all day on social media on Monday, liking everybody's posts, checking in with everybody. And I used to have a sheet. Well, I used to have a diary, and I'd write about all the people that I've spoke to first, all the people I need to follow up with, all the people that I need to keep in touch with, all the people that I need to like and comment. And plus, when you're doing that, you'll be boosting their self-confidence by saying, oh, your hair looks really nice, or your outfit looks nice, or you're making comment and you're making interactions with people, so that'll make your Facebook go up.
Wow.
It'll make people see you more.
I didn't even know all this was a thing. I just thought if everyone subscribes to the page, I don't need to do all...
If they subscribe,
if they
subscribe to your page, they will get a notification sent every time you post something.
Yeah.
But obviously for some people that can be annoying, so people might mute you subscribe. So really they'll only see it if you post it and they're scrolling through, or if they actually just go on your page. So if you just think, before you post anything on Facebook, just stalk everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, stalk all your regular people, or all the people that you know that are
So now anyone
involved.
who sees this, if you've been getting messages from me and notifications or comments about how beautiful you are, this is who's responsible for it. So, top 3 tips for being happy on the spot.
Don't rely on anyone else apart from yourself.
Okay. You didn't even need to think. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I can't believe you've done this to me.
Don't rely on anybody else other than yourself. And that goes for, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's brother, mother, father, sister, partner. Only rely on yourself to make you happy. Or if you're in the shit, only rely on yourself. Do not rely on anybody else, from experience.
Okay.
Second top tip would be, tell yourself and blow your trumpet. Blow your own trumpet more.
Yeah.
Blow your own trumpet more. Like, even if no one gives you praise and you think, do you know what? I'm really proud of that. Look at that. That's damn good. If you've done a good photo shoot, do you know what? Those pictures are really good. We've done a good job there, haven't we? Come on.
Tell me something to post on Facebook now. Let's do this
We've
now.
got one of your pictures.
No picture.
No
Just
picture.
so just put something like, I'm amazing. What? Tell me something that I should post now.
Right on Facebook?
Yeah.
I can only think of that tree thing that I said before, if you're not a tree move.
Oh no, something for me. So like
For you.
I'm giving myself some positivity, just so I can see how people comment.
Okay,
about...
so you want, like, I am happy. I am happy. I am handsome. I am motivated. I am happy. I am handsome.
Yeah.
I am mysterious.
I am mysterious.
Yes. I am motivated. And I can achieve anything.
In capitals, because you shouted.
Yeah, I can achieve anything. Which you can. Anybody can
It's
achieve
good.
anything.
It's going to probably be about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before this goes out, because I've got a little
that's fine.
backlog. So there's be another one going out today. That's already edited. And then I've got 2 more. And then this. So I'll try and leave about 3 days in between. So everyone's going to get this and be like, what's that all about?
What is he on about?
I am motivated. And what were the capitals?
I can achieve anything. Blow your own trumpet. It's like it's like with anything. Like, sometimes I'll put an outfit on and I'll be like, yeah.
I'm going to do a wind and a trumpet.
Yeah. Yeah. Blow your own trumpet.
I don't know if there is a wind.
Well, it's like when you put an outfit on, you look in the mirror, like, there'll be a one side of you that's like, oh, I don't my arse in these pants, or that top doesn't look right. But then if you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I look good. Yeah. And you just start
I love that you said that earlier
out.
as well. So while we were doing the silhouette pictures, you're like, but does my bum look good in these?
Yeah,
and I was like,
it does.
Yeah, but it's going to be a silhouette, so you're not going to see
Yeah,
it
I
anyway.
don't care, but does it look
It's
good?
just going to be an outline. This is how often I use emojis. I don't even know where trumpet is.
Just type in
Oh, if
trumpet,
I
it should
type
come
it,
up.
yeah.
It should come up.
There we go. Wind, trumpet. I am happy. I am handsome. I am mysterious. I am motivated, and I can achieve anything.
Yes,
in
you can.
capitals.
And anybody can achieve anything. I mean, if I look back on my life when I've graduated from university, I was working as a receptionist, making teas and coffees for customers, answering the phone, booking appointments. So we all start from somewhere. It's just about making a change. And as well, the most important thing is what I say to people is, it's all down to how badly you want it. how badly do you want that new job? How badly do you want to move to a new area? How badly do you want it? Because you're not going to do something if you don't want it bad enough.
Yeah. I've this is what I've been wrestling with this year. So I got so caught up in what I'm unable to do now because of lockdown. So I just had a reset, and then decided I'm going to set achievable goals for 2020.
Yeah.
No one predicted this was going to happen.
No, they
so
didn't,
whatever
no.
you was expecting to happen can't happen.
Yeah, no,
So
change
we
it.
can either put this down as a wasted year, or we can say, right, this is where we're at.
No, just change
Let's
your
think of
focus.
something else.
I think with
So-
lockdown, everybody saw it as such a negative thing, whereas I've never been out of work since I was 13. Never. I've always worked all my life. So when lockdown came, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, I've got 10 weeks I was off. I've got 10 weeks to do what I want to do. Yeah, fair enough, we can't go out. Thank God I've got a dog, because obviously that was an excuse for me to go out. But it was stuff like I could concentrate more on my meditation. I could practice more on my yoga. The house that I live in, all my furniture I got in there for free. So I had loads of furniture I needed to upcycle and recycle, but I'd never had the time to do it. So I look like I live in a brand new house now, as every furniture's been painted and every room's been redesigned. So it was nice for me to have that break.
Yeah.
But I get that we're very social beings and we're always like to be around other people, having conversations or out doing whatever. So I can understand why it was a big shock for everyone. But I think it gave everybody the time and space we needed to just slow down.
And reassess
Yeah.
what's important.
Yeah, totally. Just reassess what's important to you.
Yeah. I mean, I personally got busier. So my work got ridiculous as soon as lockdown happened, because we were sort of, all right, there's families now where you've got 3, 4, 5 kids in a house, sometimes more, 2 parents that usually at work, kids usually at school. They're forced to spend all this time together. A lot of them don't have gardens, so they're literally in the house with each other. Some of them don't have the internet because of the low income that they get. How do you entertain that many kids for a
long period of time,
number of time? So it's not even like, all right, this is going to be 4 weeks, this is going to be 8 weeks. There was just, we're in lockdown, we'll let you know when it changes. So we started creating these activity packs and dropping them off to families.
Be innovative, find out what it is to do. Like I've always said, like I get jealous about these mums who, you know, these stay-at-home mums who with this gorgeous child all day, and I'm like, do you want to swap, like, and go to work for me, and I'll just come and look after the kid? We'll have, like, making mask Mondays, plasticine Tuesdays, we'll have wet Wednesdays. They could think of everything.
Do you know how many mums are sat there thinking, are you fucking kidding me?
I did work in a nursery, like, I did work in a nursery in a wacky warehouse, and I think, even my friend's got a little 1-year-old, and every time I go around, she naps for like 3 hours, and she's like, I don't know what you've been doing with her, but when are you coming round again next? Like, just getting down on your hands and knees and being involved and playing whatever it is it may be.
Yeah, it's been nice. It has been nice. It's, you know.
But again, it's nice to get back to normality.
Yeah. So the people I know with kids, there's some that are hell-bent on not sending the kids back.
Which I can
through
understand.
fear,
I can understand.
And then most parents I know are like, I can't fucking wait for them to go back to school. I spoke to one on FaceTime this morning, a mum and her son. She dropped her son off, and she's on the screen and she's like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm off to meet my friend and we're going for breakfast. I was like, why are you so happy? She was like, because this is it now. And she was like, they do need, she did the sensible mum thing of like, they need structure. And it's
they
good
do,
for them
I
and
agree,
blah, blah, blah. Oh, but it's so good to not have to be in the house. And, but her concern was that he spent most of it on the computer.
Which Fortnite. Is a lot of parents worry.
Yeah, but he's interacting with his friends through a headset.
Yeah, so at least he's interacting with his friends.
Yeah.
Well, he better have made most of that lockdown Xbox time, because it's over now.
Yeah, this is it. Back to just evenings and weekends.
And then it's like anything else, you'll get bored of it. Eventually, you will get bored of it. Like my brother he's just turned 21 now. He's a big gamer, big Xbox, big PS No, I shouldn't say PS4. He'll kill me for that. But big Xbox
Well,
player.
his is PS4 and I said Xbox. I hope he don't get
Yes, and he's always been obsessed with his game box, and it's literally only now where he's like sort of coming out and he's making stuff in the cellar, making workbenches, making tables and stuff, and I'm like, this is like, you need to get bored of it to be able to be like, right, what else can we do? What other hobbies can we get into, just to broaden your horizons or broaden your mindset and your skills?
So I've had a comment. So I'm happy, I'm handsome, I am mysterious, I am motivated, and I can achieve anything.
Is it I am taking the piss?
I agree with 3 out of 5.
It's
So I'm
probably
guessing
the
handsome and mysterious.
Who
Maybe.
Who says you're not handsome?
I've asked which 3. A lot of people have liked or
Everybody's
loved it.
beautiful in their own way.
Yeah. Oh, we've had somebody put 100. As in 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what? That voice message from Lauren really made me feel like I should do more to uplift other people.
Just lift up. I mean, I do it the same even when I have shit days. Even if I'm in a bad mood, like it's the same when you go to work. Like I always say, leave your mood at the door. Like what I'm like inside of work is completely different what I'm outside of work, and that's the way I treat. Even when I go and see my friends, like they always say, "Oh my God, she's off her head. Like, have you seen her? Why is she so happy?" But that's the best way to be, because you make yourself happy and you're making everybody happy around you, and you make the whole experience of whatever you're doing a lot more fun.
Yeah, I feel like I do bring people up when we're together.
Yeah,
so if I see somebody, like whether it's an event or something, like I'm always a positive person in that sense. Like sometimes I'll give people shit. Which it's not done in an angry, negative way. It's like a jokey, play.
Yeah, having a bit of banter, yeah.
So that, to me, is uplifting as well. The problem I have is, because I'm so focused on work, I don't get to events much. I don't really do much.
Yours, by the sounds of it, sounds like time, though.
Yeah.
Haven't got time.
I started training properly. I used to go to the gym every day. I had some, what I would class decent size, the biggest I've ever been. I went from quite toned to just bulk to size, and then gym was the first thing I gave up when we got busy. So it was difficult to do 3 jobs and have a social life and train. So that was the first thing I gave up.
But the same as the gym, like I used to smash the gym, and then now I'm like, work's taking over. You sort of your focus will change. Like that's why mine went onto yoga and stretching.
Yeah.
Now I enjoy yoga and stretching more than I ever did going to the gym.
I feel like when I start to get comfortable, instead of saying what's the next project, it should be let's start doing something physically healthy again. So I've bought quite a lot of gym type clothes, and I've even ordered some AstroTurf football boots.
Oh, nice.
So I can start training, or it's mainly because I went to watch them play and I was just like, I could be having a kick about with
Nobody
them
wants
now,
to do anything. Like I'm the same with stretching or going to the gym. Nobody wants to go to the gym apart from those really gym obsessed people. But I'm the same as stretching. Like some mornings I'm like, I just can't be asked to stretch. But like I said to you, that Mel Robbins podcast on the 5-second rule.
Don't be taking people's attention away from my podcast.
No, Mel Robbins, she's an international speaker, but she talks about the 5-second rule, and it literally gets you to do anything. Because they say when your brain thinks of an idea or something that you want to do, you've got literally a 5-second window before your brain comes up with every excuse under the sun why not to do that activity. So as soon as I'll be like, I should stretch this morning, then I'm like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I literally just, when I say go, I'm up, I grab my mat, and then even before I've had time to think about it, I'm already sat on my mat and I'm already ready. So it's like, well, I'm sort of here, let's just go.
Okay.
And I do it with the washing. I hate washing. Washing and ironing is the bane of my life. And I'm like, I need to get that washing done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And you just move. And before you even think about it, you'll be doing it and you'll be thinking, I don't want to do this. And it's like, well, I'm already doing it. So it's done now.
I got told... So there's parts, well, I used to work for Leeds City Council, and there were parts to the job that I hated. Yeah. And somebody said to me, do them first.
Yeah, do them first.
Otherwise, you're going to spend all day putting it off and thinking, I've still got to do that. Just get them done. But my big thing is, I broke my TV remote, because so now it's just me in my bed. Yeah. I've got one side that I use and obviously one side that I don't use.
Yeah.
So my laptop will be on that side of the bed, and I'll like be on my computer and I'll just put it there, or like I'll take a jumper off while I'm sat on my bed and that'll be there. So that side's always got something. Whether
There's always something on it.
Whether it's an Xbox controller, whether it's a remote, and I had my quilt folded over, and I leant on it, or like if I do this thing where I'll put washing in. And then I'll put it in dryer and I'll go out and I'll get back at like 11, 12 o'clock.
You can't
take
be
it
arsed
out of
with
the
it now.
dryer, take it upstairs, and I'll just be like, or I'll put it on my bed before I go out, and then I'll get back and I'll just be like, oh. So I'll just fold the quilt over it and I'll just sleep and I'll do it tomorrow. And I'm very much like
Oh,
that.
that's bad. That. See,
know.
I think that's one thing I learned about living on my own, because I've lived on my own. Well, I lived on my own for 3 years before, and then I lived on my own for another 2 years. So it was sort of like, dishes are a prime example, especially if you've not got a dishwasher.
Yeah,
Everybody, when
they
they eat their tea, they go to put the dishes in the sink, and they'll go, I can't be arsed, I'll do that later. You never do them later, ever. Ever on record, you will not do them
What
later.
we do is we fill the sink up with hot soapy water, eat, and then everything just goes in there. So while you finish your brew, and then I'm not going to
See,
pretend
I hate
like
it.
I
I
do
hate
the
going
washing.
downstairs in the morning and seeing dishes, and I'm like...
Oh no, it'll get done the same day, but it's usually my mum.
I might just do it now. Since my brother's moved in with me, he's only 21, he's like, I'll do it later. I'm like, no, you won't. You'll do it now. I do not want to see dishes in that sink later, because they'll be there till tomorrow morning. Just do it now. And the fact of just do it now, my partner does the same. Before he gets into bed, he literally just strips off and then drops everything where he's standing. And then in the morning, he'll get up, have a shower, and then go put his work clothes on. And his clothes will be there. His clothes will be there for days if I don't move in. I'm like, all you have to do is just pick them up and put them in your bag. Or if they're dirty, just put it in the washing basket. Towels. Oh my God, the towels. How is it so hard to keep up with which towel is yours? It's beyond me. Like yesterday, I went to get in the shower and I'm like, I put my towel in the washing basket and there's 3 towels. So I'm like, whose is the blue towel? And Mitch is like, oh, it's mine. I'm like, right, okay, so whose is the middle white one? It's folded. And he's like, oh, shit, yeah, that's mine. I was like, right, okay, so you didn't put it in the washer, but you've got a new towel out. And they're arguing over towels. I'm like, I'm going to get a washable pen that so you can write on it. This is Jasmin's towel. This is Billy's towel. This is Mitch's towel. Just little things like that. But again, boys are different to girls, so...
Yeah, I am very much like, I'll just stop this because I'm doing this. Like, my interest can just change.
Yeah. See, I'm
The-
very much like, once I start something, that's it. I've got to commit and I've got to finish it.
The worst thing for me is like company finances, like receipts.
Oh my God,
but
yeah.
I've got you'll be proud of this anyway. So I pay for some pens.
Yeah.
Let's just use pens. So receipt goes in my wallet and then it stays there for ages. And then I'll have bought more stuff.
Yeah, this
petrol,
Mitch's wallet just
food,
gets thicker and thicker.
And then I'll
with
think, right, I need to
receipts.
sort these. So then I'll go through them, but they've got to be in date order so the spreadsheet's consistent. So then I type in what it's for, transfer the money from the business account back to my bank account.
Yeah.
Then I take a photo of the receipt on my tablet.
Yeah.
That photo then goes into an album, whether it's petrol, food, equipment, miscellaneous.
That's good.
All that sort of stuff. Then the receipt goes into a wallet, also named the same. So I've got a hard copy and a digital copy. The fact that there's about 6 steps in that process, I'm always just like, oh, I'll just wait. I'll just wait till I've
Put it
got
off.
some
You need a
more.
full dedicated day.
Well, this is it. But if I just did like one day a week, there wouldn't be that much. So
No,
I'll do
no,
one
no.
like every fortnight or
Same
something.
with doing horrible jobs in the house. And it's the same when you go to work. Like when I turn up at work and I'm like, oh my God, I've got 35 emails. I don't touch them emails till the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because you're most productive in the morning when you're doing your design work. So I do all my design work. Sometimes I just close it down so I can't see it. It's the same with notifications on my phone. I don't have any notifications on my phone. So if anybody comments on anything on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, if anybody sends me anything, I can't see anything. I do not like notifications, and for me that was
you open the app to find out if
if I want to check Facebook, I will check Facebook, and I'll get the notifications when I'm ready, not when Facebook sends them to me, which I found makes me feel a lot more relaxed.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I'll tell you some of the comments. So we know Steve. I nearly said his name. And then somebody put, "I agree with 3 out of 5." He won't tell me which 3. I've asked him. I've had 100%, and then someone else said, "Say it to the world, and it's supposed to come true."
Yeah, say it to the world.
So I've just sent
it's
them a
supposed to
voice
come
message
true.
saying, "I'm on a podcast, and that's the idea of it."
Yeah.
Do you have any of this attitude to share? So I've just replied saying, "Say it out loud to yourself every day."
Yeah, totally.
You are a strong, black, independent woman.
Yeah.
I feel like that's from a film.
You're a strong, black, independent woman. It might be, you know.
So apparently it's an American film by the accent you just did.
Yeah.
And then I was going to disagree with you, but actually that would be just me being daft because basically they are true. Mysterious was not something I thought about you, but maybe after the recent odd photos, reliable is another good word to add in.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all about The Secret. I think once everybody watches The Secret, I mean, the first time I watched it, I'm not going to lie, I did think it was a bit bullshit, but it's the same. I mean, I did it in July. I made a vision board. I quite like making vision boards of what I want to achieve in that month. And the month of July, I got every single one bar one. I didn't get my headstand. But on that vision board, I got every single item that I wanted to. We went camping. I was concentrating more on my yoga. I got the Timberland boots that I wanted for my birthday. And there was all things like vision boards. So it's the more you drill it into your own head, the more you say it out loud, the more you write it down. I mean, it was saying that, like, affirmations and gratitude is all well and good saying it. Like, I want my own showroom. Whatever it may be, I want a Polo, I want a BMW, I want some bright new trainers like yours, whatever it may be, you just ask for what you want. But then I found out that when you write it down, it's 80% more powerful or 80% more likely going to happen if you write it down. So I was like, right, I'm taking this to a new level. So I used to write I say it now, and my diary's full that I've brought with me. It was just a book, and for a full year I dedicated to I used to write a daily promise list to myself. So it'd be like, I am Jasmin Brewer. I run a successful showroom for MKM. I am going to hit 300,000 target this year. What else does it say on it? Let me just read from one of them. It's just making a daily...
You've got to put the work in as well.
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't want people sat at home thinking, I've just lost my job, but if I just sit here thinking about getting a job, it's going to happen.
You've got to put the work in. Yeah. I mean, like, I love my positive life and more positive things are coming my way. The universe can feel my positive vibration and brings more positivity into my life. I believe in myself and I can achieve anything. I already know an abundance of money is coming my way. It's all written down and I know it's going to happen because I am a manifestation queen. Nice. And like saying like I love to attract love, I attract happiness, I attract more positive people. It's just higher in your vibration.
And I suppose if you're constantly telling yourself that you're going to either do or achieve something, you're embedding it in your brain, which makes the decisions for you anyway. Like there's lots of people that rubbish these things. I even think one of the recent podcasts, it was brought up about, you've got people who think that if they just think about nice things, that nice things will happen. And it was said in like a way that you've still got to put the work in. And I believe you do. I believe it's, you
of course you've got to put the work
together.
In.
But if you think about Darren Brown, so Darren Brown drives you to his studio and then gets you to choose a colour and a number. And all that's happened on the way to the studio is he's drove you past a ridiculous amount of red number ones. So when you get there, you choose red number one and you think you're making that choice yourself, but it's been embedded into your mind all the way there.
I totally agree. I mean, with manifestation and manifesting what you want into your life, and especially when they talk about The Secret, they talk about you ask for what you want, and then you need to be able to manifest it, you need to imagine what you're going to feel like when you get that thing of what you want. So you kind of imagine yourself, you've already got it, and how are you going to feel when you get it? And with manifestation, it's not... I agree, you've got to put work in. But with manifestation and asking the universe for what you want, you don't need to worry about how you're going to get it. or how are you going to go about doing it, that'll come later. It's a bit the same thing about the showroom. I was asking, I want my own showroom, I want my own showroom, I want my own showroom. It was presented to me on my lap at the time, and I never thought it would come about like that. It's the same with passing my driving test. It took me 3 years to pass my driving test because I was just genuinely so shit at driving.
Yeah.
But every night I was like, no, I'm going to pass my driving test. I'm going to pass it. We're going to get past. So every night I used to pretend, I'd close my eyes, I'd pretend I got my music on in my car, the feeling of how I'd feel when I'm first driving my car with the friends all in the back, I pretend changing gear and all that lot. And within 2 months I'd passed. But I'd gone throughout that whole long 2.5 years of not being able to pass. And then once I'd focused on manifesting what I want, manifesting what I wanted, it's sort of like, it's with The Secret and the power of the universe. It's not about thinking about how you're going to get it or worrying about how you're going to make £1,000 if you want £1,000 at the end of the year. It's the same. I printed out a fake check for £5,000. And I was like, December 2019, I'm going to get this £500. This £5,000, it was £5,000. I got that £5,000 because I got a £5,000 pay rise when I took that job. So I never worried because I've still got it in here. You know, when you think and you're like, this £5,000 check, I made it out to myself. Look, December 2019, £5,000. And I used to look at that every morning and I'm going to get £5,000 by the end of the year. And I did get it because I got that £5,000 pay rise. So it's not about worrying about how you're going to get there or how you're going to do it. The things will fall into your life. Yeah. It's the same with being negative. If you're being negative all the time, and you're just going to attract more negativity to yourself. Like people say, oh, bad things come in free. Like if something happens and you're like, oh my God, and then you're worrying about if someone else is going to happen. Like, I've got a thing at the minute, and I was saying to Mitch, I was like, someone's going to smash my car up, because that's where I'm parked, you know, where the house is. It will come true one day, someone will put my window through, because that's just one thing that I'm like, well, I worry about my car being out there. And I say to myself, the more I worry about it, I'm going to make it happen, because I'm worrying about it. I'm encouraging the universe to do it, so to speak. So it's just being like, don't be so focused on how are you going to get there, or the middle ground. Just think about what achievement and what goal you want. I've
got my driving test at some point.
Have you?
Soon. I'm not telling anybody when it is.
Yeah, don't tell anybody it is.
It's either this month or next month. So I might try that and see if it. My problem is, so I did my motorbike test, and there's two parts to it. One's in a car park showing you can control the bike. The other's out on the road.
I did a CBT for a scooter.
So when you do your bigger license, it's similar to a CBT on a big bike, and then you go out on road. And I feel like I'm quite a confident person.
Yeah.
And a lot of the situations I've been in my life gives me confidence. But I'm also an overthinker.
Yeah.
So when I took the second part of my motorbike test, the instructor said to me, just drive out, just ride the bike how you'd normally ride.
Yeah.
But in test mode, I've pulled up at a junction and I'll look and there's no coming, and I'll do my shoulder check and then I'll set off, and then I'll get to another junction and and I fail for being too cautious. If I'm approaching the junction and there's no coming, why am I stopping and checking?
Yeah, because you don't need to.
And I put myself into that. I'm overthinking it's a test. I'm being examined.
Overcomplicating things for yourself.
Yeah, so with the car, because I've never had a driver's license, but I've drove cars for quite a long time. It was just like, right, so I want you to do a parallel park, reverse into this space, or reverse, bump, going this far away from curb. He was like, oh, that was really good. He was like, all right, so what's next? And everything he asked me to do, I did. So after my second lesson, he said, you need to book your test.
Yeah.
But we've had a nightmare with lockdown. You have to ask permission to be able to do a test, and you have to justify why you need to do your test and stuff. But I just don't want to go into it overconfident, or like in my head, when I went to do my theory, because I had to do my theory again, I was like, I want to be the guy that gets 100% on both bits.
Yeah.
And I got 3 questions wrong, and then I can't remember what my percent was. It's not a percent, it's so many out of so many on the hazard perception, but I passed by quite a lot. But I was like, I'm going to get a 5 on each one. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to make sure I click it, because I'm a biker and I know that this is the, you know, I'm more aware.
Yeah.
And I want to pass my test with no minors.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
I got 3 minors.
Yeah, but then all the time I'm just thinking, well, if I tell someone I've passed my test and they say how many minors did you get, as long as I can say less than what they got,
Just lie. Just lie.
I got
Who's
none.
gonna know?
I got none. But that's how my head works. Like everything's a competition.
Yeah,
Everything's it's got to be not in like a I need
It's
to
just
win at
giving. It's
everything.
just
but
challenging
it
yourself a bit
motivates
more
me.
and
Yeah,
gives
it
you more
motivates me to do better.
motivation.
you know.
Yeah.
But on the attaching, so I work with a company called Expert Links in London, and it's an amazing guy called David Ford who was homeless. He came home from the army. He was homeless. He sort of got to know some homeless people. One of them was going to a meeting. He went with them, and he's in the meeting sort of saying, "Oh, what is needed is he needs a house because da 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 da." Da. And they got halfway through this meeting, and the guy in the meeting said, "Are you homeless or are you a support worker?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm homeless too." And the guy shut the meeting down. He said, "I'm not having what to do with you." So he said to himself that day, "I'll never allow somebody to treat me that way again." So he went through college, he went through university, and now he does some amazing. He does lots of stuff in Parliament. He's big in the sort of like homeless addiction type scene.
Well, it's always the case if someone says, "Oh, you can't do that."
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the whole reason. Probably one of the reasons
that's
why
my
I went
motivator.
to
Yeah.
I went to university was because I was a duty manager of a pub, and everybody where I lived was like, "You can't go to uni."
Yeah, yeah. And that's
Right, says
it's the same
who?
for me. Yeah, yeah.
Says
Anyone who
who?
says to me, so if I create a project, the two things are, "Oh, that's similar to what so-and-so does." It's like, right, I want to find out what they do and I'm going to make mine different.
Yeah, yeah.
Not saying whether it'll be better or worse,
Yeah,
but it'll
yeah.
be different because I don't want to be known as them who created that project on the back of that. And the other thing is, you won't be able to do that. Like, okay, I'll show you. And they're the two things. That's all I need to create a project. But yeah, we delivered some training with him, and it's called an ask. So what would your ask be? And you've got this form that you fill in. So I want a £5,000 by the end of the year. So why do you want this? What's it for? How will you feel when you've got it? What will that look like? What will that smell like? What will that taste like? What will that feel like?
Yeah.
And as soon as you start attaching emotion to something you want, you're already creating this.
Yeah.
I imagine you've already
Sounds
got
a bit
it.
like manifestation, doing the
This
same
is it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you attach feelings and emotion to that thing that you want. You know, I want to spend more time with my kids. How will that benefit you? How will that benefit them?
Yeah.
How will it make you feel knowing that they've got this particular thing?
Oh God,
and
yeah.
all these very simple questions that just make you invest more than I
in
want
yourself,
this thing.
yeah. And why as well, finding your why.
Yeah.
Why do you want to benefit yourself? Why do you want to do these things?
Yeah.
Why? Finding out your why is a big.
Yeah. I'm in the middle. So the more time I speak to people like you, to people like Richard McCann, to all these people who are motivational people, the more I think I need to be more positive with myself, because I say, I can be with anybody you put in front of me. I can talk anybody up. When it comes to me, I really struggle.
It's hard giving yourself gratitude and giving yourself compliments and blowing your own trumpet. And I always think, imagine yourself as you're your own best friend.
Yeah.
So let's say you're talking to your best friend and they're going through the exact same thing to you. What advice would you give your best friend? That's the same advice you should give to yourself.
Yeah, we never do though, do we?
No.
You need to
But
dump
writing it down,
her because she's
yeah.
trouble. She's this and she's that, and then you're like, "What about your missus?" This is different. It's different. Don't talk about my missus like that.
But writing it down is a big help.
Yeah. So when I said say it out loud to yourself daily, she's replied, "Easier said than done, but I will try."
Make it.
I got a message off. So the person who put the message, I sent her a voice message and told her why I'd posted that. So she's put, love it. I did Nurtured Hearts training last year, and I took lots away from that about how I describe her son, amongst other stuff. Knowing what he's good at and labelling them to him changes his profile and what he thinks of himself.
And I totally get when everyone says it's harder. It's harder than it sounds. It's so harder than it sounds.
It's uncomfortable. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable because it's not
that,
normal. It's not something that you're used to doing. And the post-it note, if you're not used to it, post-it note, I like to call the post-it note system, is one of the first steps into getting in that direction. So the bathroom light on top of the toilet where the cooker is, the extractor fan next to the kettle. Get post-it notes, write something inspirational on there that will give you a boost, and put them all around the house. it's not the fact that it's not the fact of saying it out loud. When you look at it, you'll read it in your head. So you're telling yourself in your head the same
the
thing.
Darren Brown thing again.
It's
You're
literally,
constantly putting
you're
positive
constantly
stuff
putting
into your head without
your own
knowing
shit
you're
in
doing
your
it.
head. And then like your affirmations in the morning, I used to do it on the way to work, but I'd say a couple and then I'd be like, oh, I forgot what else can I say? So I laminated, it's only a little sheet of card with bullet points on. I laminated it and I put it, where the sun visor is, I just slotted it in there. So it's sort of forcing myself. And I think everybody does it. I think it's stupid at the time. And even when I'm in the car, somebody's caught me before and I'm like, I'm wonderful. I love my life. And then you look to the next car and you're like, oh shit. She thinks I'm crazy. But the best way is to be crazy and be yourself. And it's finding out what works for you and what you feel comfortable with. Do it when nobody's around.
Yeah, I guess if you're going through stuff and you're not happy and you've not been happy for a while, this is a free, on your own, in your own privacy, way to change things. And if it doesn't change anything, it's not like you've invested into something.
And
so
you
can just
invested
try
in
it.
yourself, so you can't lose, really. I mean.
Yeah.
We all have down days, like I said before. I have bad days. Like it's all right to have a bad day, and it's all right to cry every now and again. But it's right. Okay, we've let it out. Let's reflect on this now, and look back. Why were we upset? Was there a reason why we were upset? What can we do differently about it? Why am I feeling like this? So it's just working on yourself and reevaluating, reassessing, and looking at things in a different perspective. And if you can't, like. I'm like you. I'm a bit like I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I always think, oh, what would I say if this was my best friend telling me this? What would I say to my best friend? And you'll get a nicer response than what you'd say to yourself.
Yeah. So the expert links David Ford thing. Part of that was you made yourself have an outer body experience. So I don't want to give too much away, but you go through a process. There's a bit of a process leading up to this happening, and then you step away and you imagine yourself still being there.
Yeah.
And then so you can't refer to yourself as me or I.
Yeah.
So I'll be coaching and I'll say, so there's Jasmin. So tell me about her. What's she like? And then you'll say, oh, she's a bit, she's this and she's that. I'm like, oh, so she's, and I'll say something positive, and you will say, oh yeah, she is. So then I'm coaching you on what you're saying. So you're giving me information, and I'm putting a spin on it.
Yeah, like a positive spin on it.
So I'm not changing what you're saying. I'm just allowing you to realise that you're saying positive things about this. And then I'll say, what's the job? Oh, well, no. What does she do? And it's constantly. That's Jasmin. That's not you. That's Jasmin.
Yeah,
there.
that's Jasmin there.
So tell me about her. And what you have a third person who writes down. So she's a positive person. So positive, friendly, motivational, outgoing. So they write this list. So you're having a conversation, and then at the end you're just like, all right, brilliant. And then there's a process to end that as well.
Yeah.
And then you'll say, here's your list, and then you'll look through it and you'll think, I would never have said any of these things about myself.
Yeah.
I would never have put any of those words to me. But that's the facilitator's job to confirm what they're saying by saying, oh, so you're saying that she's... And they'll say, yeah.
Ask your good friends.
No, because all mine, like, even if someone said
It's
to
got to
me...
be someone who's serious.
Tell me about your friends. I'd say, well, he's a dick. He shouldn't... I'd never let him date my sister. He's this, he's that. But that's just how we are. And I think if I was to... Like, there is times where we're serious. So even over lockdown, I'm constantly the person who's trying to arrange to get people together. Right, yeah. So I've got 4 friends that I used to work with at the White Rose. There's more, but we were quite close. So we've been in it. Is there 5 of us? There might be 5 of us in this mess. Yeah, 4 plus me. So there's 4 guys in this group. And I've been trying to get us to go for a drink since like December. And it's just like, all right, so what about this day? And then we'll agree on a date, and then one will be like, oh, I can't do that day. Or,
it's like organising
and then lockdown
a girls'
happened.
night.
Yeah, so it's, or, some of my mates who I've grown up with, we managed to go for food, but only sort of 4 of them turned up.
Yeah,
and then some of them were this and that. And I appreciate our lives have changed, but I just feel like it's constantly me saying, shall we? I did some youth work at a skate park and put my skates on to do some videos. So while they're doing the ramps, I'm skating around with them. And it made me sort of like get in touch with loads of people that used to do it and be like, shall we just?
Yeah, do
And even
it.
that, I've just put a message in saying, look, I ain't got time to keep trying to
Yeah,
arrange
yeah.
this. If any of
Yeah.
you want to go, just let me know a date and
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'm there.
It's the same with anything, like trying to organise anything is just a nightmare because everybody's lives are so busy, and I get that. But I find, like, I did it with my birthday. I really wanted everybody to just come for a nice walk. We'll have birthday and cake near a waterfall and just have a bit of a chill walk there a while back. And I said to everybody, I was like, this is the car parking spot. It's going to be a hard walk, so everybody needs to wear the wellies or some walking boots. If you break your ankle, you're on your own. Like, you need to come prepared. And I was like, if you come in, you come in. If you're not there by a certain time, then we're all going. And I was gobsmacked at how many people turned up.
Really?
But it was literally because I was like, this is what's happening on this day. Make sure you're available. If you're not coming, then I'm not really bothered. Whoever comes. And then you sort of see who will make the effort and then who won't. And you'll find the people who won't will sort of fade out.
Okay.
Sort of fade out of your life slowly.
Yeah.
Which is people come and go in your life, and it's not. I mean, yeah, I'm a people person all over. I love meeting new people, but there's only certain people stick around in your life, and I always think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll have one last look. You are kind, you are considerate, you are talented, and you are determined to enjoy. Yeah. I will take a bit of motivation if you have any spare, mate.
Yeah. Tell him to add me.
I will. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to do a live video on mine as well. And we're going to explain to people what we've
that
just
is.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's been amazing to have you in.
It has, it's been emotional, thank you.
I feel like we don't talk enough.
No, thank you so much for having me.
But now I know that you mute all your notifications, that's probably what it is. But I really enjoyed the shoot. We're going to get you to come back.
Yeah,
we're
I'll
going to do
come
some
back.
more. I genuinely think you're an amazing person. And
thank you.
I say, I know that some people will turn their nose up. I know your boyfriend gives you shit sometimes when you're doing your
people just
your
take
live
the piss
videos
out of my
and
live.
stuff. But they do genuinely help people. And like you say, you've had messages from people saying
and that's
that.
the most important thing. If you, like you said, if you can make a difference to one person on that one day, then that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I feel like I've made a difference.
You've made a difference to me today.
Good.
Even just making me post that thing where people are now saying nice things. Because
people are saying nice things about you now.
I was expecting a lot of abuse, if I'm honest. There's still time. There's people I know that are going to comment.
Yeah. There might be a few, but there'll be more positives than negatives, hopefully.
But yeah,
thank you very much.
No, not a problem. It's been really good to see you.